Hi, and welcome to Watch Single Track, a channel that's dedicated to the trail riding enthusiast and ways to step up and improve your trail riding game. If you like content like this, please consider subscribing for more. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to my sponsors up in Canada, Bradley and Lucas from EVs, and they can take care of all of your PPE and EUC needs. So for today's episode, we are mainly going to focus on rider mentality and ways to tackle trails that are unknown and new to you, especially black diamond and double black diamond trails, because they can seem super intimidating at first. This is the first ride out at Walnut Creek, California. We're out exploring some trails, so we've never ridden this before. So there is a little bit of rider hesitation, riding not quite at 100%, but we're also having a good time and pinning it to win it. So here in this is a single black diamond trail, I believe, that we hit first to drop in, riding with a good buddy of mine, Zach. He is a extreme hardcore rider as well and likes to get at it like this. So the big thing with the rider mentality and focusing on trail riding is stuff can seem so intimidating. Like right there, I came across a gap in a creek. I didn't have the speed for it. I wasn't ready for it, but I just had to give it the gas, and sure enough, I cleared it. So you just gotta try, even if in your mind you don't think you're gonna make it, and just tackle, the next 20 feet at a time. And right here, Zach paused and he just wasn't sure where to go because it looks super gnarly, and it is. I mean, look at that. It's super chunky, and you gotta be able to pause and pivot in place like that and then continue on. But when I rolled up to it, I saw him pausing and hesitating, and I knew if I stopped and thought the same thing, I would be standing there at the top of the hill as well. I just had to go for it, and so that's what I did, and it seems to work out most of the time. You're not going to win them all, but you'd be surprised at how many you do win. And so to continue on with rider mentality, you do have to be conscious of how you're riding, especially on new trails, and it can be easy to get carried away. In this spot, I just took off, and it was so smooth and buttery and super narrow, about 12 to 16 inches wide, and I just clip a pedal right there, and the wheel shoots over the side of the mountain without a rider. But watch it again. You can see the tether grabs and yanks the wheel back into the mountain. You can hear it beeping in the background. I didn't lose my wheel down the mountain, and that is exactly why I wear a tether. It could save your wheel, or it could save an innocent bystander below. And this is the hill climb back up to the top of the mountain, or I guess the route that you take to get back up towards the black diamond, double black diamond trails out here. I already rode it once prior, so I was starting to get comfortable on it, and I was starting to really give it the gas, and it's nice and flowy and smooth. It's just a great feeling, and once you start to ride a trail once, it really helps build your confidence and your mentality as to how to look at the trail and how you could hit that obstacle next time to make it that much better and that much smoother. So we're getting back up to the top and getting ready to drop into another trail. And right here this was the double black. Boom, you got the skinny log drop in to some super chunky log steps, and away you go and off to the races. Got to do a little adjustment of the camera, and yeah, just dropping into this trail, and it is super chunky. And then it tends to smooth out a little bit right here, which is a nice break because that beginning drop in was pretty intense, and I was concerned that the whole trail was going to be that gnarly, but it turned out to be an excellent trail, as you're going to see, and there's some great technical riding involved in this, and was definitely an accomplishment. And so right here, the trail, after that little beginning drop-in section, we're cruising through some eucalyptus, and I started to slide out a little bit, so that definitely kind of wore down a little bit of confidence. So I took a little bit slower right here because I didn't want to slip out. And I was really unfamiliar with riding on eucalyptus bark. So that part was interesting, but you soon forget about that and you're already focused on the next 100 yards and how you're going to get through it and what obstacles are coming up. So right here, again, this kind of stuff, you're like, sweet, I'm getting into the Black Diamond Trail. So far, it's not so bad. This isn't too chunky. But things start to change, and then you go, shoot, which way do I want to go? Because both lines look super gnarly. But
this way looks harder.
As I like to do, I chose the harder line and decided to go down the right side, and it got super technical. Right here you have a ton of drops across the roots and the rocks, and then you got some man-made log drops in it. It's just it's a short, intense little section, and it's very, very steep, even though video doesn't quite show it as much as being there in person.
That is a hill, dude.
That's a gnarly little hill. And so right here in the video, we are actually pulling up to the cream of the crop for this specific area that I was visiting out of town. And this is the gnarliest double black diamond that I could find anywhere nearby at this place. As you're gonna see, it gets super intense. Boom, we start dropping in with some man-made logs, and I already know I'm gonna be in for a ride. It's the man-made log stairs. They definitely cause a big bonk, and you carry a lot of speed downhill, which already can be hard enough because these are steep hills. You're dropping, you're falling into rocks and roots, clipping pedals in your hanger. You gotta be able to pause at a moment's notice. Look at that, it's just crossing through crazy roots and drops. There's another one, boom. Just enjoy this for a minute, because this was crazy. Right here, it gets really crazy, and I'm about to get chased down by a little Yorkie that tries to come and bite my leg off, it seemed, but it was all good. Just really enjoyed this trail. Boom, and there's the Yorkie coming out of the woods, ready to pounce. The owner thankfully got a hold of him, so I wasn't attacked, but I was still a little bit scared. I think it put the pressure on, and I slipped, boom, and I fell right there. But, I mean, finally the wheel cut out. The wheel still wasn't cut out when it initially tipped over. That's how high I have my lean angle set. So you gotta run max lean angle on the trails and gotta run it in the hard mode. But anyway, get back on the horse, back on the saddle, boom, and just start dropping back into those, as I call them, nature stairs. And it gets super chunky again into a bunch of rocks. You start getting excessive speed, and you gotta hit the brakes pretty hard. It's really, really fun, but it's daunting after a crash like that and getting right back up and falling into it. And then I was like, cool, it finally smoothed out. But even right here, you can't afford to clip a pedal or go over the edge, because if you go over that edge, that's a long way down, and I don't want to find out how long of a way down it is. But that's the thrill of trails like this and what makes them exciting. And what really helps build your confidence, believe it or not, learning how to ignore the edge and the danger that's there, and how to actually ride the trail safely with what you have. And there you go, you finish out with the big old natural staircase. That was probably one of the most beautiful endings to a double black diamond trail I've had. really enjoyed it. And we will end today's session with a little tree tap. And I just want to give a huge shout out again to Evie's. Thanks.